Hello, beautiful creatives. Welcome back to Beginner's Mind, Art Mind. I'm Linda Marcille, and I have a ton of sketchbooks that I have been promising you sketchbook tours on for a long time now. I've just been having so much fun with these process videos that we've been doing, drawing with sticks and leaves out in nature, that I got caught up in it and I didn't feel like stopping to do a sketchbook tour. So I may actually see if I can cram all of these sketchbooks into one video. I think it would be a really long video, so I may have to divide it into at least like 2 videos, but it's not going to be a very long intro because I'm going to try to get through these quickly. So let's get right to it and flip through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sketchbooks if we can get through them. Also, there's a wide range of art in these sketchbooks. There's everything from really tight paintings to super loose, intuitive, crazy art. So no matter what kind of artwork you like, this range of sketchbooks covers it all. It's got a little bit of everything in there: landscapes, portraits, interiors, still lifes, abstract, expressive, surrealistic, intuitive. It's all here. So let's dive into these sketchbooks. Okay, so let's get started. I was trying to decide which sketchbook to do first, and then I remembered in a prior video I had promised you this one, mainly because I had done like 2 or 3 sketchbook videos over, I don't even know how long, a period of a month or 2, and they had been tighter paintings, you know, more like these paintings. So I said I would do a looser sketchbook this time, a more expressive sketchbook. So we'll start with this one. So this one is from 7/25/24 to 3/10/25. And I will put links to all of these sketchbooks down in the comments below. Alkalo, I think it is Alkalo. And it's 8 by 8 inches, 180 grams, 122 pounds, 120 pages. Okay, how would you know yourself if you met yourself outside of your current reality? This was an intuitive painting. I think I was just testing out watercolors. Oh yeah, it was Mi Lang watercolors that I was testing out. And a phoenix showed up in that one. This was Mi Lang, and there was a little person dancing here. And I don't think I feel like I ever went back to find the rest of the images, because there's another person here. There's all kinds of stuff in there. It doesn't look like I ever went back to it to develop it into a more intuitive narrative painting. This looks like it was a palette cleanup page that I just went over with some kind of ink pen. Be Well Now, just some expressive abstracts. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we are absent one from another. I like the color combinations in that one. This was a palette cleanup page, and I just sort of gessoed in the background and then outlined with, it looks like an acrylic marker maybe. This is oil pastels. Just an abstract with writing, because it's kind of notes to myself. This is an abstract. Boy, it looks like I used all kinds of stuff on this one. I'm not sure actually what I used, but I kind of like the color combination. So it looks like it was a palette cleanup page that I went back into with maybe Neo colors. Not sure what those were. Oh, this is collage. This is collage that I did on a palette cleanup page, and then I was starting to develop characters that I was seeing, and I never finished it, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that I just left them as outlines. I had forgotten about this. I actually like this one. This was intuitive. This was just an intuitive watercolor. Again, kind of started to bring out things, but didn't take it too far. Just doing some mark making. This was a master study, and I didn't write down who it was from. I think this was inspired by a Misty Mon class, but I don't remember that either. I've started to try to take better notes in my sketchbooks of exactly what's what. This was just, I don't know, just something I did one day. Maybe I was feeling unheard. Pencil sketches. Looks like a little bit of surrealism. October apples. Warm October days picking apples. I just made some notes about the day. This was a Frida-inspired page, and I did some writing with that. I feel like it'll take too long if I read all the writing. Not sure why I have a paper in between there. I don't think there's any pastel. Just a intuitive painting that I called Stick Season, sort of an abstract landscape. Another fall inspired. Oh, this was testing out my ink mixes. So this was a brown ink mix of oxblood green amber. Not waterproof, made a note. It's diamine ink. And then black Noodler's ink mixed with diamine blue. Alana Rose. May 11th, you arrived from Texas after being rescued from the streets of Mexico. Welcome to your forever home in Vermont. Just, this was a mantra chant that I did some paintings to. This was a Thich Nhat Hanh poem. In true dialogue, both sides are willing to change. We have to appreciate that truth can be received from outside of, not only from within our own group. If we do not believe that, entering into dialogue would be a waste of time. Contour doves. With Alana and Toshi on my lap. That's challenging. Cool. Oh, this was sketching, yeah, so these were sketches with my fountain pens. This was a Milton Avery study. These probably were gouache. This looks like maybe some sort of water-soluble graphite with gesso. I like this one. I like this one too. I haven't done faces in a while. Thick acrylics. This probably was gouache. Looks like maybe a combination of gouache and watercolor. Oh yeah, this was a collage thing that I started on a palette cleanup page, and I was going to go in and define these figures more, and I never did. I never went back to it. I guess I forgot about it. And this was just a palette cleanup page that I went over with some pastel pencil, which is rubbing off. M-gram watercolor. This looks like a mix. Maybe this is acrylic though, actually. Feels like acrylic. Oops, I skipped a page. Watercolor, probably gouache or acrylic. Probably gouache. Looks like watercolor. This is mixed media. Looks like colored pencil and watercolor. This is looks like a combination of watercolor and gouache. Faber-Castell and Tombow pens. I think I was going through my old pen collection and trying to see which ones were good anymore. There's Alana, my sweet girl. This was 3 colors of markers, it says. This was George Leslie Hunter, girl in the red pullover, seated on couch. So I did 2 versions of it. Felix Nussaum, 1935. This was inspired by a painting by him. This was no idea. It just looks like, it looks like markers, but then it looks like maybe I added some gouache. Just some surrealistic, intuitive work, mixed media. Caran d'Ache Neocolor. Oh, this was a design I was doing for my silk scarves. I did end up doing some silk scarves of that. I actually have some silk scarves that I need to relist in my Etsy shop. I keep forgetting to relist them. I should do that. This was more designs for silk scarves that I was doing. Oh, this was Art to Life. Not Lewis. Oh, I forget his name. I'll put a link below. Nicholas Wilton, is it? From Art to Life. He gives a free workshop every year, and this was some of items from his class. This is gouache. Mixed media, just messing around. No idea, just playing. Just playing with my art materials. This was a no-tan of something. This paper looks like it did not hold up well to scrubbing because I can see that it's pilling in paintings where I tried to remove pigment or did a lot of scrubbing. It didn't hold up well. Otherwise it was fine, but if you did any scrubbing, really, it didn't hold up well. This was another silk scarf design that I did. This I did with Artex markers. This I did with Artix, ARRTX acrylic markers. This is in gouache. Oh, this says Shinhan gouache. So this was Shinhan. This was Shinhan gouache. Just a sketch. Artix acrylic markers. Not sure what this was. Oh, no. Watercolors, but I must have been setting up some kind of palette. Yeah, I must have been setting up a palette. Okay, so that is that sketchbook. Okay, so here is the second one. It's from 5/24 to 6/25. And this is a Strathmore. Again, I'll put links below for the sketchbook. Strathmore 500 series, mixed media paper. Okay, soft cover. Okay, this one I'll probably go through pretty quickly. This was a painting that I did down at our pond a very, very long time ago in gouache. As a matter of fact, this was the first painting that I actually did on here, and I didn't count the date on this because it was 11/23/21, and that was the only painting that I did in here until May of 24. So I just kind of started the sketchbook at that point. And this is Turner acryl gouache. I've tried to be better about saying what I used on a painting. So this is Liquitex Basics. This was inspired by a photo from Pinterest. This was a Patreon demo. This was a Patreon demo. Oh, this was a Patreon demo. This was funny because this was acrylics, and I used some sort of an ink, I think it was a Pentel art brush, red ink underneath of it to do the drawing, and that red was so tenacious. It just would not go away. I mean, it stained everything. I put coat after coat after coat of acrylic over this, and that stain just stayed. This was watercolor. I had a donkey named Amarilla, but she wasn't really yellow. These are gouache. Actually, this one might be acrylic. It's shiny, and that might be why I have this paper in between there. Looks like they might be some sort of flat acrylic. System 3 Heavy Body. This was inspired by Robert Joyner. This was System 3 Heavy Body Acrylics, and this was inspired by a Henry McGuinn. There's no cottage in the original painting, but I added a cottage, changed it up a little bit. This was acrylics, System 3, and Liquitex. This just says acrylic. I don't know what kind it was. This is more acrylic, it looks like. Just playing with expressive faces. This looks like it was Stabilo with gesso. Paul Rubens watercolor. This was probably also Paul Rubens watercolor. This was a Mary Fedden study. This was fun to do. I really enjoyed doing that. And this was a Matisse study, and I put a Lana under the table. I really like that too. I actually should maybe make some prints of these. Oh, I like that too, with Alana. This was watercolor. This feels like it was gouache or acrylic. Just a fantasy, surreal sort of painting. This I like. This was abstract landscape. That's kind of fun. Like the colors in that. Oh, Christmas time, painting Christmas trees with different mediums. This was acrylic, and this was watercolor with some gouache. Still life. This was George Leslie Hunter's study. I love the way that came out. I really like that. I love his work. This was another one that was done after George Leslie Hunter. This was King Art acrylics. Got a little shine to them. They were nice to work with though. This was King Art acrylics, and that shine makes them want to stick, even to the deli paper, which is interesting. I haven't waxed the paintings with Dorland's cold wax in this book. This was after Edward Beauregard. I love the way that came out too. 12 Shades of Gray acrylics. Oh, I just love the colors in that set. Love them so much. Just really beautiful muted colors. This was just from a clothing ad on somewhere, Pinterest or somewhere. It was a model. This was another model. Also done in 12 Shades of Gray. Lovely, lovely colors. This was I called this Mother's Day, first Mother's Day without my mom. This is a highly textured, I almost think this was a demo I did, but I don't know if you can see how textured this is. But it has the Liquitex sand medium, I think that's what it's called, laid down and then painted over it. And oh, I love that gold on there. I really love the texture on here. This also has that Liquitex sand medium. That's really fun to play with. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but great texture to play with. This was just an intuitive painting. This was a watercolor. This came from a book of medieval patterns that I had, and this was just a small section of the pattern, and I did that in watercolor. Watercolor or gouache? Maybe gouache. Testing out colors, and that's it for the second one. Okay, so this one is from 8/21/22 to 8/12/24. This is a Stillman and Birn Zeta series, 8x10. Gorgeous paper in this, I gotta say. Really gorgeous, thick paper. Again, I'll put a link below. I don't think it says right on it. Doesn't give the information about what the weight of the paper is, but it is very thick. Watercolor. This was probably gouache. So some of these are waxed with the Dorland's cold wax and some of them are not. Okay, so my battery just died, so I had to change the battery. So this is from the Room Portrait Club, which is on Instagram, I think, and they post pictures every month, I think, of a room. They pick a room and then you can paint them. And I loved this room. Absolutely loved this. This was another one of theirs. This was some castle that they did a tour of. And they would post multiple pictures and show a video, actually. They did a video tour, so you could pick any view that you wanted to. And there was this little dog that was running around, so I just painted the little dog onto the bed. It was kind of fun. This was also Room Portrait Club, so I was doing it quite a bit back then. A bag of panda licorice that I painted. This was actually, now that I think about it, this was when I was doing the Strata Easel 30-day Paint from Life challenge. So there's a lot more realistic painting from life things in here. This was just a surreal painting that I did, imaginary. This was in the bell jar, another just sort of imaginary painting. This was a plein air painting that I did in another sketchbook, and I took it out and taped it in here. This is a farm stand up the road from us, so I painted that on the grounds. Just an imaginary, another imaginary landscape. Imaginary still life, I suppose. Kind of like that plant in the window. I'm not sure what inspired that, but that's pretty funky. A lot of these are feeling like they're acrylic, so I'm thinking these are all acrylic. Just another imaginary painting. This was inspired by Mark Daniel Nelson's workshop on abstract landscapes. So he demoed these landscapes, and then we had to come up with our own imagery. So I just sort of built this painting with the different elements that he was teaching. This was Liquitex acrylic gouache. This looks like I was trying another one out based on his teachings. And maybe another one. This was Shinhan gouache. And this was Liquitex gouache. It looks awful dark in my screen. Don't know if it's that dark. This was actually a scene from near us that I took a photo of that one day when Don and I went for a drive. This also was a scene, Liquitex acrylic gouache. I actually really liked working with that Liquitex acrylic gouache, but this was a scene I took from one time when Don and I were out and about. This is down the road from us, a neighbor's barn. Just an imaginary interior still life with Liquitex gouache again. This says inspired by Charles Emile Brunner, Liquitex acrylic gouache. This is, I think I did a demo of this. Earl Haig Master Study. Yeah, I did a demo of this on YouTube. Turner acrylic gouache. Really enjoy working with the acrylic gouache. This was another Turner acrylic gouache. Really like this one. Oh, and this was some flowers. Dawn's daughter, Dawn, made little bouquets, and she brought them to his 80th birthday party. And these little vases were so adorable. And she's a floral designer, so she designed these little bouquets. They were just adorable. So I did some setups outside and took some pictures. And I should do some more of those because I took a bunch of pictures of the different vases. That'll be a fun thing to do over the winter. And this was one that I did. This was inspired by an Elmer Bischoff painting, Bischoff. And I had this in another sketchbook, and I decided to pull it out and put it in this one. And then just some M-gram watercolor swatches, and that is it for that sketchbook. Okay, so we've gone through 3 sketchbooks. There's 2 left. Maybe I will go ahead and just try to quickly go through the other 2 and see where we end up. So this is a U.S. art supply. So what's the date on this? This is 7/2024 to 5/2025. And it is a, oh, I don't have the, oh yes I did. So this is a U.S. art supply watercolor book. It's cold press, which I normally don't enjoy working on cold press paper. Acid-free, natural linen bound, heavyweight paper for watercolor and mixed media, 8.5 by 8.5 inches, 76 pages, 110 pounds. Milang watercolor. Just some playing, really just playing. This says it was a YouTube demo. I don't remember that, but it must have been a YouTube demo. This also says that it was a YouTube demo, and this is a YouTube demo, so I probably maybe did them all together in one video. It's funny, I don't remember it. This was a YouTube demo. Interesting. Do you guys remember these? This was from 8/8, probably 24. This looks like it was a palette cleanup page that I did a drawing over. Oh, this was a YouTube demo. I'll be darned. And then just playing, drawing over some palette cleanup. Just play. I bet this was a palette cleanup that I meant to do something over, and I didn't do it. This was mixing M-gram watercolor with phthalo blue. So these are all the colors that I mixed with the phthalo blue, and these are the range of colors that I got. It was kind of fun. It was really fun, actually. I did my whole set. Using some pastel colors, which I don't use that much in my work. So this was kind of fun. Just doing a little bit of softer work. Another just surreal, imaginary work. This was a watercolor. Beautiful colors. Love those colors. I think this was M-gram. I really do love M-gram watercolor. This looks like I was trying an effect that didn't really work. It kind of muddied things up. These are fun. Those are real fun, just sort of playing within those little boxes. Oh, this was a palette cleanup page, and then Dawn saw this guy, and so we developed it together into this guy driving this crazy car. That was kind of fun. Just playing with figures. This was inspired by Alice Mumford. Love her work. This was after George Leslie Hunter. Pretty color schemes in those. Oh, this was part of the Yellow House series. I did a whole bunch of paintings in and out of the sketchbook on the Yellow House, which was the house that I grew up in. And this was the barn that was just up the road. The property went along the road. So this was another one from the Yellow House series. This was another one from the Yellow House series. And then I did some really large ones that were on paper outside of the sketchbook. Playing with faces. Harold Guard. I watched a documentary on him. Oh, such a good documentary on him. I think it was on YouTube, but I'm not positive. Really, really good. So I just actually did a screenshot of him and then just used wild colors to paint him in. And this was, I don't know, just playing around. I think it might have been inspired by an ad somewhere, and then I just added a crazy background. Just imaginary interior. Oh, this was an intuitive that I meant to go back and develop, and I didn't. And this I never finished painting. I was going to paint this one, and I never painted that, and I probably won't, because when I finish a sketchbook, I don't usually go back, so she will probably just live like that forever. Crazy daffodils in gouache. Oh, this was a little bouquet of daffodils and tulips. This, I don't know. I feel like that was inspired by something, but I don't remember what. Just an abstract landscape, fooling around, faces in a table. This was with those Arctics acrylic markers. It was really fun to do too. I think it was all imaginary. I don't think this was based on anything. I'm not sure though. And these are two gouache paintings of the woods, of our woods, experimenting with really chromatic shadows. This must have just been a palette cleanup page where I carved out figures. Not even sure what this was. I might have just been trying to see how some colors granulated together. Might have been doing that. It might have been mixing neutral tint with Payne's gray and seeing what came of it. This was with those Arctics acrylic markers. I think that was too. Ooh, did you hear that stick together? This was probably like Liquitex acrylic gouache or something. Maybe I should put a paper in there when I'm done because it is sticking. I should go back and wax these. I've gotten lazy over the years about waxing things. Yeah, so I just stick a paper in there sometimes if I've forgotten to wax something. Tombow with water brush, Pentel ink brush, and multicolored NSXU pencil. Oh yeah, those are those crazy pencils that have the multicolored leads in them. This was the Artix acrylic markers. This was the Artix acrylic markers. Looks like this was a combination of a whole bunch of things. Looks like I really didn't finish either of these. Don't know what that was. Again, it looks like a combination of things that didn't really work out that well. It looks like it got muddy on me. Just playing, testing things out, swatching, and that's it for that one. And then the last one, this little tiny SoHo Urban Artist brick with Kraft paper. It's 5.5 by 5.5, 80 sheets, 65 pound, 100 GSM. This is not, I actually had to tape this because I was so rough on it. The binding was starting to I think the cardboard was coming off the binding. It's not thick paper, it's really thin paper, but I know some of you, like me, really enjoy having a thin paper sketchbook to work on once in a while. So this really probably is just mostly play. This is some white and black charcoal, just some mixed media. These were plein air studies that I actually did down by the Connecticut River, and there's a video on YouTube for that. So that was probably back in the summer of 24. Oh, I put the day 7/31, but I didn't put the year that I finished it. Did I finish it in 24 or 25? I don't know, we'll figure it out. So that was down by the Connecticut River. This was down there, just really expressively getting down some marks to represent these gorgeous weeds and wildflowers that were growing there. This had a bunch of charcoal on it, so it smudged onto that page, and that page smudged onto that page. But really just play. The thing I love about having a sketchbook like this is it's just pure play. Really fun. You know, it's thin paper, inexpensive sketchbook. It does take gouache pretty well. I don't think it would take watercolor, but it does take gouache real well, actually, for such a thin paper. A couple of ballerina studies. Some faces. Abstracts. I'm going to go quickly because this is a thicker one, and I have a feeling this video is getting really long at this point. More abstracts. These were fun. I remember these. These were fun to do. I loved laying down the watercolor and then doing a fountain pen sketch on top of it. Playing with square apples. Not sure what she was done in. Charcoal that smudged onto the sanguine page. These look like water-soluble graphite with some white pastel, chalk pastel. This is that multicolored pencil, and this is the, looks like water-soluble graphite. Doing a lot of faces back then. This was Dylan Sarah. I think I was watching one of his drawing sessions and drew him. Just expressively doing contour drawings of plant material. Oh, this was an outdoor concert we went to in 2024 in October. We didn't make it to any concerts that year. We finally, at the end of the summer, made it to this one, and I sat and painted the stage. This was the woman sitting in front of me. These were just some of the people there, maybe not. It's not the same date. So this must have been something different. Well, this might have been from in response to one of the wars, because it looks like soldiers and bombed out buildings. This was graphite. Not sure what that was. Charcoal. Oh, I think that's China marker. The bear. That's funny. Looks like this is watercolor and gouache. No, maybe this is all gouache. Yeah, see, it takes, for thin paper, it takes gouache really well. Surprises me, really. Crazy chickens. This, I actually ended up doing a silk scarf with chickens on it based on these. Oh, Alana, I tried to get her freckles. She has freckles all over. I like this one. It's kind of moody and mysterious. This was the Arctic's markers. I think that was the Arctic's markers, and it didn't like that. It didn't like the markers. Anything I think that was abrasive, it didn't like. It started to peel. You could take paint and put it down, but when you started scrubbing with markers, it didn't like that very much. Although this one was the Arctic's markers, and it came out quite well. I think you just had to put your mark down. This was Tombow. This was Arctic's markers again. This was Arctic's. This was Arctic's. I did a lot of work with the Arctic's markers because they had contacted me and wanted to collaborate with me. And they told me that they wanted me to do a July video. And I had some of their markers, a smaller set, and I really liked them. So I did tons of art with the Arctic's markers because they wanted me to do the video in July. Well, they never sent me the markers. And I had made my schedule and made all of this work. This is the Arctic's markers. Made tons of work in different sketchbooks. This is Arctic's markers. Yeah, and they never sent me the markers. So it messed up my schedule and I was quite upset. Yeah, so then they contacted me and said, do you want us to send them now? And I was like, nah, I'm kind of turned off. I think they said their reason for not sending them to me was because they had my address, but they didn't have my phone number. And I think that's why I got mad, because things can happen, but you didn't have my phone number? I don't know. This I showed in a reel, I believe. Not sure what this was. Looks like maybe ink, just ink in a coarse brush. This was a drawing of some buildings in Brattleboro. I think I was just playing with my fountain pens. This is, swatching out my small watercolor kit. More playing with a fountain pen. M. Graham and Phthalo Blue. More swatching. And then that is it for that one. Okay, wow. So I did end up flipping through all of the sketchbooks. Whether they make it into one video or I have to split it between two videos, I don't know how that will work out, because that's a lot of sketchbooks, but we'll see how it edits out. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all of these sketchbooks, learning a little bit about the paper in them and the different brands, and seeing a wide variety of artwork. If you did, I'd love it if you gave a thumbs up and subscribed if you haven't already subscribed. And I think the secret word for this week will be SoHo. If you write SoHo in the comments, I'll know that you watched till the very end. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next video, and maybe we will go back to expressively drawing and creating either in nature or with nature items. I'm not sure yet, but I'm just really enjoying playing. So I will see you then. Take care and have a really great creative week. Bye for now.